Eating local is a big deal for, I think, everybody everywhere now. You want to know where your food's coming from. You know, maybe it's a luxury, but I think it's a luxury that's worth it. My name is Greg Margolis. I own and operate the Nantucket Culinary Center and the Corner Table Cafe. We also provide private chefs throughout the island. Today we're going to show you how to do a little cooking in your home. We're going to cook a great summer dish. It's going to be fresh tomatoes, fresh corn, a little pan roasted salmon, served over greens, really simply dressed. First thing we need to do is get the corn going. Nantucket Culinary is my business, my dream, and my passion. We've been open for 2.5 years. We are there to hopefully be the epicenter of culinary arts on Nantucket. So we're gonna let that get to nice and tender. Still want it to have a little bit of bite to it. So we got lots of beautiful tomatoes, but again, we want to cut them in half early. Just a nice healthy sprinkling of salt and some pepper. What's gonna happen is that the salt's gonna draw moisture out of those tomatoes, and the liquid that comes out of those tomatoes is just really delicious. And that's gonna turn into kind of our salad dressing. So we won't need any vinegar in our salad dressing. We'll just use the tomato liquid and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. I know it's catchy to say farm to table, but there's a purpose behind that. When you're cooking food and you know where it came from, you know when it was picked, and in a lot of the cases out here, because it's such a small community, you know who picked it. The easiest way to take corn off the cob is to do it in a bowl. Take your corn, put it right in the middle, and then just take your knife and come on down. So, before we cook the salmon, we want to season it. So we'll liberally sprinkle salt, give the salt a chance to kind of disperse while it falls down. And we have the pan on a high heat. And we're going to use a high temperature oil. So we're not going to use olive oil. Olive oil is a low temperature oil. In this case, we're using sunflower oil. We want it to get to this point where it's almost smoking. And it's starting to get there, it's starting to get so the oil starts to move like water. We're going to lay the salmon in. When we lay it in, we're going to lay it away from us so that if it splashes away from us and not on us. Once the salmon hits the pan, the most important thing to do is nothing. If you try to shake it, you try to move it around, you're going to end up tearing it. Because you want that crust to kind of form. And that crisp roundness actually will protect itself. But we're going to let it cook. And what we're going to look for are signs of doneness. And I want to let that color kind of come up about halfway so that we know the salmon is going to be cooked on that side. So that's pretty much it for the salmon. Just a few minutes on each side. So now in that bowl, we have a good tablespoon or two of that tomato liquid. So right now we have the acid from the tomato juice. We're gonna add a little bit of olive oil, and we'll add just a tablespoon or so in there. We use enough to coat the tomatoes. So we're gonna do a little bed of beautiful fresh farm greens, and they are just in really nice shape right now. They look pretty. We're gonna add these marinated tomatoes now all around the plate. Now we have the shucked corn. You can go in there and break them up, but I kind of like these little chunks. And then I'm just gonna come ahead with those 2 pieces of salmon. Kind of thing I would just wanna take right out to the deck. Nantucket's got really beautiful landscape, and the houses have become a part of that. People started to build these really gorgeous homes and put in these $1 million kitchens. So now they're bringing private chefs in to the homes to really utilize their kitchens that have all the top appliances to know that you're on the most comfortable couch with the best views and the nicest linens everywhere, whether it's the towels in the bathroom or the pillowcases on the pillows. It's a real treat. I think for at least one of the nights that you're here, it'd be great to have a private chef come in, cook you whatever you want. Especially great for families when you have small kids. You don't need to find that babysitter or the nanny. And we hang out in the kitchen, you know? All parties end up in the kitchen, so it's great when they start there too.